Today we'll be starting off a new topic, which is Pythagoras theorem. The first lesson will be concentrating on square roots and surds. Square roots are basically this sign here that would allow you to find out a number times by itself to give you the number inside the square root. So the square root of 25 is the number 5 because 5 times 5, or 5 squared, is 25. So square root gives you 5, and multiplying 5 by itself gives you that 25 inside. The square root of 49 means something times by itself gives you 49, which is the number 7, because 7 times 7, or 7 squared, is 49. Now, what's a surd? A surd is any type of root whose decimal or fraction value cannot be found. So all of these square roots here gave you what we call integers, or whole numbers in this case. Okay? But if we try to square root the number 10, okay, what will we actually get in our calculator? Now you do this by typing in this button here, and then typing in 10 inside there. Now when you type in the square root of 10, you will get 3.16, and then it keeps going. So I'm going to write 3 dots to indicate there's more numbers, right? So what happens is this number here, square root of 10, is going to be a surd, okay, because it can't be expressed as a fraction. And you know that because if you, once you get this answer and you press the S to D button, this one here, which converts between fraction decimals, it can't actually convert to a fraction. And that's where you know it's a surd. Whereas when you do root 36 on your calculator, you get the number 6, and that is not a surd because that's a whole number, okay? Right, we're going to move on. Example 1. We have to evaluate each expression, correct to 2 decimal places. So to do this, just go to your calculator, type in square root of 7 squared plus 9 squared. I'm just letting you know that the square button is right next to the square root button, right there. So if you type that all in, you will get 11.40175, and it keeps going. But the question says round to 2 decimal places. So if you want to round to 2 decimal places, what that means is you want to keep 2 numbers after decimal place, and you want to see if the third number, so what I do is I draw a line there, this third number here tells you what to do with that second number. Okay, so only the second number changes, or might not change, depending on what that third number is. So if that third number there is 5 or above, okay, 5 or above, means round up, okay? If it's below 5, that means round down. So, what are we going to do here? Because it's below 5, since it's a 1, we're going to round this number down, so it's going to be 11.40. Now, as for square root of 12 squared minus 10 squared, that is equal to 6.633, it keeps going. And so if we were to round this to 2 decimal places, we draw a line there after 2 numbers. That third number there, which is the number 3, is a number below 5. So this is going to round down to 6.63. Okay? Question example 2. Select the surds from this list of square roots. Okay. So if we want to select the surds, the easiest way to do this is to type this all in our calculators. So, if we type this on our calculators, we do get 8.485, ... But if you press that SD button, okay, it doesn't actually change this to a fraction, so this is a surd. Okay, so I'm going to circle that. The square root of 121 is the number 11. So this is not a surd because it becomes a whole number. The square root of 64 is equal to 8, which is not a surd also because it becomes a whole number. The square root of 90 is going to be 9.4868 ... on our calculators, and you can't change that to a fraction at all, which means root 90 is a surd. Then root 28 is going to be 5.2915 ... which also can't turn into a fraction, that's also a surd.